Because if, like, what you tell me is upsetting, I'm going to be upset with you. I'll definitely give you some bad advice in the beginning. Or some confrontational shit. Yo, or, like, like, say something rude to this person, but then, like, come back and be like, okay, now that I've calmed down, we can figure out what you're going to do now. What's up? And welcome to another episode of Talk Your Shift. I am Mel.
I am Dom.
That's so good. Great. Good for you. Look at you. It only took us... No, I didn't know what you're going to... I never know what she's going to do. But anyways, welcome. If you are new here or not new here, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome in general. We love that you are watching. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, if you don't know what we talk about here, we kind of talk about a little bit of everything, especially personal growth. And so, we're gonna kick this off with a "Am I the asshole?" Are you ready?
I'm ready to judge. Yes.
Okay, here we go. Hope y'all are ready to judge as well. Am I the asshole for telling my mom that my sister's friend and I will never get together?
What? I need more context.
Here we go. Duh, it's the title of the fucking... Anyways. My 19 male sister's friend, 18 female, has been over at our place regularly ever since kindergarten. I once asked her out a year ago, but she said no. We're still close, though. No tension or anything like that. Here's the problem. I tutor her in history since she is studying the same course I did with the same teacher and same reading materials. My mother, who adores her and wants her as a daughter-in-law, insists that I try again. I told her no because she already rejected me once and there is no reason to ask her out again. She said I should try complimenting and flirting with her when I'm tutoring her. She called it the perfect opportunity. I rolled my eyes, told her, "Mom, there is no situation less romantic than two teenagers discussing Lenin's biography. You really expect me to hit on her when I'm helping her with papers and preparing for a final exam?" Mom still kept pressing, so eventually I told her it will never happen. My dad later said that maybe I should have pretended to think about it and that false hope is better than no hope. Update. So I talked to my mom. I asked her how she would feel if someone kept harassing my sister after she rejected him. Thought that would get the point across and ensure Mom won't be asking me to give it another go, but then she mumbled, "You didn't even do that well in your final exam. She's probably having you tutor her because deep down she likes you." Note that I got an 81. So I told my mom I don't want to talk right now and went to my best friend's house to play with his German Shepherd. Smiley face.
Dogs.
Can we just give a quick kudos to this gentleman for, like, understanding how to read the room?
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment? Because some people are very relentless and are just like, "You want to go out with me? But why not? Yeah. You can't have friends?" Like, shit like that.
That one? You can't have friends?
I hate that so much. So it's like, so my husband can come along as well. But anyways, I say that to say, kudos, kid, for, like, being like, you shot your shot. She said no. You still respect her as a person, which is wonderful because some people lose respect
when they get rejected.
Yes, but you're like, no, that's my homie. It's my sister's friend. I'm gonna help tutor her, whatever. So kudos to you, man. The mother though, that's some toxic ass enabling behavior. Weird. That's dangerous. That's some dangerous ass behavior. I did not like that.
Yeah, like that makes. I think sometimes the older generation.
Yes.
Well, and you know what? I don't even want to say just the older generation.
People.
Yeah, people.
Mm-hmm.
They think that rejection doesn't always come from, like... Let me think how I want to phrase this. They think that rejection is a result of... misfiring, if that makes sense. So it's like, well, you didn't do it right, that's why they rejected you. No. I think they rejected you because they wanted to reject you. So not that, like, well, you didn't set the mood up properly, or like if you would have phrased your sentence this way, they would have said yes. Like, no, I don't think so. So I think sometimes people think that rejection doesn't come from their true feel, like genuine feelings.
Yeah.
But rather rejection comes from a place of not doing something correctly. That's just my own
what's
opinion.
so funny? You say that, and like I just had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago. This is totally going to contradict, but it's very interesting. I would never do something like this, but anyways, no, actually, it's not even shade to this person. Like, that's just how they do things. Anyways, so I was having a conversation, and pretty much the person said that somebody was trying to like holler at them, and they didn't mind, like, but the way that the person had asked them, they were like, oh, no, try again, like. And so they didn't respond. And then the person did it a nicer way the next time around. And then they were more receptive. But I think there has to be an initial attraction there for you to be like, first of all, I think that's a great standard. Also is like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling this person, but you're not about to just say it the way you want to say it.
Yeah.
And think I'm going to be receptive to it. So
Yeah.
I get that. And then, like, the fact that they tried again and was successful because they said it in a better way, like, that's why I'm like, it does make sense. It does. And there are people that be playing that, cat and mouse, right?
No, that's true.
Game where they're like, no, I want them to chase me, so I'm going to say no a million times. It's like, bro, like, no.
I don't get that.
It's so, I don't know what it is. People do it, and if you do it, that's okay, I guess. It's just not honest. And I think that it's a possibility that it's like a defense mechanism. Like, people don't want to get hurt like that. So I guess they want to really make sure you're interested before they, like,
that's so crazy.
reciprocate.
That's crazy though too, because
just a thought.
Yeah, but I would really like to know if you're someone who does
Like, what's the motivation?
Like why?
Like, we don't need to get down to the nitty gritty because, it's your personal business, but I am curious to hear what you get out of it.
Yeah.
If, like, you're playing coy or, like, you just rejecting them multiple times to, like, test them, I don't know, but I'm very curious.
I wonder if it makes them feel fulfilled because it's like they're not doing it for themselves, but then someone continuously coming back. It's like, oh,
and validating them in that kind of way.
Yeah, like I wonder if it's their way of using it as like a self-worth type of thing.
Oh, I think there's different angles, different perspectives of why. Like, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm genuinely curious. So
yeah,
if that's something that you rock with, please explain why.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not really with the games thing. Like, I never was. I was always pretty honest. I didn't do that whole, I'm not going to text them back the next day or this, that, and the third. Like, I'm not strategic like that. Like, because at the end of the day, I'm coming with my genuine self, and, like, that I feel like that should be enough.
Yeah.
So I've definitely got, like, shitted on quite a few times because of that, but, like, I'm not gonna play. Like, and I feel like when I was younger, maybe because I didn't play those games, that kind of, I guess, I don't want to say didn't make me attractive to other people, because there were probably other factors as well, as, like, being a plus-size woman on Long Island and whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the fact that I didn't kind of, like, play into those roles didn't necessarily make me a fun thing to chase, because it's just like, if I liked you, I was just going to be like, I like you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fucking stupid for me to like you and to pretend like I don't, so that you'll be you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do think that there is such a thing as the chase factor, for sure.
Yes.
But with continuously rejecting, doesn't the thought cross your mind of
you're hurting their feelings?
Not even just that, but they're going to eventually move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, me personally, if I got rejected by someone, I'm gonna take it as, okay, cool. Like, I won't overstep.
Oh, I would have
and
been
kind of
devastated.
keep
I'm better at it
trying.
now, but
Really?
yeah, well, I was devastated when I get rejected.
Really? Dang.
Yeah, I'd be so sad. I'd be so sad. I'd be like, damn, what I do? What I didn't do? I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, you and I have different.
I think because I just be like,
You don't give a fuck.
no. And I remember the
You
first
don't.
time I shot my shot was
I give so many fucks.
in. I want to say the first time I shot my shot was in 6th grade, and I saw the kid that I liked in the hallway, and I literally walked up to him, and I was like, blah blah blah, like, I like you. Do you like me back? And he was like, no. I was like, all right, cool, bye. And I went to the bathroom, and that was it. We actually, senior year, we actually ended up being like pretty cool, and yeah, and then I let him and a couple other kids copy off my homework, so we were
Nice.
we were tight. But
Yeah.
no, I just kind of feel like it's just do it. Just shoot the shot, because I mean sometimes you genuinely know that someone does like you, but just shoot the shot only because you don't know if someone else is not going to shoot the shot. Like, I know my most recent relationship, I knew that he liked me. Like, I knew. But when him and I actually spoke about it, he was like, yeah, no, I was never going to shoot my shot. Only because, one, like, rejection, like, oh, I don't know. Because, like, him and I obviously were friends and a part of the same friend group and everything. So, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if I should. And then one of the things that he told me, which I was like, interesting perspective, is he saw me just, like, doing my own thing. Like, I was grinding at work and just, like, trying to be an independent young woman. And he didn't want to impede on that. Like, he saw me just, what's the term I'm looking for? It just slipped my brain. But he saw me just, like, living my
it starts
life
with a
and-
P, and I can't think of the word.
Yeah.
It starts with a P.
Not trajectory.
No.
But
No.
But either way, he basically just said, like, he saw me doing my own thing and trying to just flourish in life. And
I wish some of these other motherfuckers would do the same.
Yeah,
Don't
so
y'all
that
wish?
was- yeah.
When it's like you could have stayed out of my way. Like instead
no.
you blocked my progress.
Literally.
Or I allowed you to block my progress. Let me say that, because we have to take accountability for the toxic people we fucked around with.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was like, I thought that was a very interesting perspective, which I kind of agree with, because sometimes there's people that I've seen in the past, and I'm like, I would like to, but I know they're on their own wave right now.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, where I'm at and where they're at, it's not going to align. But yeah, so if I never shot my shot, who knows what would have happened? Just because, like I said, he was like, no, I was about to take that shit with me to the grave, because
Yeah. Maybe there's an adrenaline rush that comes from it too.
I don't know. I think I just like knowing things,
like
to be honest.
like texting back and forth and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, like, having a conversation with the girl at work. She was, like, texting a guy, and she was, like, asking us what she should, like, type back and forth. It was that whole, like, oh, he said this, so I'm gonna say this thing. And I'm just like, people are very interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's just what it is. Like, people are very interesting, and there's just so many different ways to go about things. I'm just like, but for me, it's gonna be honesty is the best policy. And if the thing that I'm trying to be honest with you about brings me anxiety, that's the only time I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Because yes, absolutely.
That shit. You'll feel a lot better at the end. Just power through it,
I'm
man.
getting used to, like, correcting people and, like, saying things, but, like, if there's a certain level of anxiety that comes with the thing I'm gonna say, whether it's like a critique or a observation or I don't know, like anything along those lines, and I see that it's like a little bit too much inside that I'm holding, like it's like I'm internalizing it a little bit, then I will keep quiet. Because it's just like, because I'm not trying to cause, like, tension.
Okay.
You know? But I'm trying to get better at it. Especially if it has to do with me. Like, I'll get better at it. But if it has to do with like you and your business, like venting about your business, like there are times where I stay quiet because I'm just like, I don't think this person's gonna receive what I have to say. So I'm just gonna, it's giving me anxiety thinking about saying it out loud. So never mind. You know, it's a couple of different factors in that. I'm working on it. But like, if it's something that's somebody else's business and they didn't necessarily ask me for advice, or even if they do ask me for advice, like, I be honest. I do my best to be honest, but like sometimes depending on what it is, I'll reserve certain parts of my observation. You know? So, is that still considered lying if you're like reserving some of the truth, or you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Or I'm not even going to say
that
the
kinda,
truth, like opinion, I guess, is better.
Yeah.
Because it's opinion.
Yeah.
It's not fact.
Yeah. Like,
They can turn around and be like, fuck you, bitch. And I guess that's my biggest fear, is that we're going to have a conversation and I'm going to be like, hey, you know, da, 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 da. And you just like, what the fuck? How could you, whatever. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to trigger somebody.
well, but that's kind of the thing, though.
I no like confrontation. I no like
Oh, I'm all about it.
I know you are.
But
I no like.
Except for at work, I noticed. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, sometimes
confrontation at work? Mm-mm.
Well, more so, like,
Makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, like,
'Cause
for
this is where I
me
get
right
my
now,
money.
it's just, like,
I'm like, this is where I get my money. We need to get along.
No, for me right now, it's more so, like, I don't want us to get sued. So, I'm like...
Oh, that's fair. Yeah,
So I tell HR all the time, I'm like, is this okay? But, nah, outside of work, totally different version of me. But I feel like I know you don't like confrontation, but I feel like it depends on what it is and who it's about. Like, if it's about you're a little bit more inclined to be like, all right, whatever. But then, like, if someone was coming at me sideways, or Christina, or like Carlton or Zariah,
all of a sudden this hat is off.
Yeah, no, that's what
Like...
I'm saying. Like, you will tell them that their mother never loved them. Like, you're very quick about it. So it's very interesting.
It is interesting because
like
I don't know. It's just, it's easier to defend somebody else than it is to defend myself, because I think you like gaslight yourself into being like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. Let the same thing happen to somebody that I care about. All of a sudden it's just like, what are we doing? Where are we going? How do we hurt their feelings? Like, how do we hurt their feelings? Yes. But for the most part, I am non-confrontational. So I do try to come at it. Like, I definitely get people hype. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm, like, always rational. Because if, like, what you tell me is upsetting, I'm going to be upset with you. And be like, what the fuck?
You get hyped.
Because what the fuck? Sometimes it's what the fuck. So, and then, like... I'll calm down a little bit, because I'll definitely give you some bad advice in the beginning. Or some confrontational shit. Yo, or like, like say something rude to this person, but then like come back and be like, okay, now that I've calmed down, we can figure out what you're gonna do now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that's that Taurus temper a little bit. But yeah, that was lovely. All right. Shall we move on to our meme segment? You're not the asshole, by the way, guy.
Yeah.
If anything, you're a good guy.
Very considerate.
Very considerate. And your mom is just probably going to be a busybody and up in your shit for the rest of your life. I also would warn you that if you do get a partner that is not the sister's friend, your mom might not like them.
Yeah, she might.
So just keep that in mind for the future. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So we're going to move on to our meme segment.
You didn't say beloved.
Our beloved meme segment. I know.
I said segment this time.
It's segment. I said segment the last time.
Did you really?
Yes. Anyways, like looking at you all weird. I'm like, all right, here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. That person you're making sacrifices for will one day turn around and tell you that they didn't ask you to, and they'll be right.
Oh. God damn.
When I tell you I called myself out with that shit,
Yeah.
I call myself out with that shit because I've definitely been in situations where I've gotten into an argument with a significant other and I'm like, but I did all this for you. And they were like, but I didn't ask you to. And it's like, well, shit. But also the other thing is, well, you're not functioning properly, and without me, like, you wouldn't function properly. But then why would you want to be with somebody that's not functioning properly? You see where the cycle and the circle. I've grown.
Yes.
So this is no longer me. However, I'm addressing that it was a part of me at one point where I would do things, and I would make sacrifices. Meanwhile, like, ain't nobody asked me to sacrifice. So here's the thing, right? If you're in like so many thoughts happening right now, but if you're in a toxic dynamic, right? There's a couple of things going on. I feel like you're noticing, and this is from my perspective, right? I noticed lacking in certain areas.
Okay.
So I tried to accommodate for that. I sacrificed certain things in order to make those things work or happen or whatever, you know? And they didn't ask. So I'm making sacrifices, right? Hidden, quiet sacrifices. I'm not saying nothing to them. Now, on top of that, they are requiring you to make certain sacrifices. Like that they vocalized, right?
Okay.
Like stuff that they've like actually said.
Okay.
So you're sacrificing. So now you're in double discomfort. But A, you're only getting credit for like the stuff that they actually asked you for.
Yeah.
And you're just suffering. At the end of the day, you're just fucking suffering. Like extra.
Yeah.
For no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
Because they didn't ask you. They did not ask you to do that. And so you're doing that, you're trying to earn, like, for me, I was trying to prove that I was good enough. Prove that I was lovable. Prove that, like, you didn't need any of these other bitches. Like, I was enough. And, like, it has nothing to do with me being enough or not.
Yeah.
It just was what it was. We weren't compatible in that way. They wanted to do all sorts of things. And, like, at the time, I was just dealing with it. Like people do. They deal with bullshit because they think the person's going to change or whatever, or that the sacrifices that they make are going to change. And I was actually talking to Christina about this thing where, like, I noticed too, right, that the things I used to go out of my way for to prove I was worthy to a person that didn't, like, want me like that, or, like, didn't, like they wanted me, but not in the way that I deserved to be wanted,
like they
and
didn't
stuff.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, the way that I would put myself out there for people like that in comparison to the lack of effort I did with people that I knew, like, had feelings for me and were sweet and nice and stuff. Totally, like, different. It was different.
Yeah.
Not saying I was mean to people who were nicer and respectful. It was just, I didn't feel like I had to fight for them like that. And I guess my body was used to feeling like that. Like, I don't know if you've ever felt like, I guess when you have a feeling in your body that satisfies, like, just the, it just satisfies something in you. Yeah. Like the action of you doing something or feeling a certain kind of way doing something, like that fulfills something in you. Whether it's comfortability or whatever, the familiarity, whatever it may be. Like, I guess the examples around me were you sacrifice, you just kind of deal with bullshit. Yeah. And it'll be worth it. It'll be okay. You know? Because I didn't really see a lot of functional relationships and seeing, like, healthy dynamics and healthy conversation and things like that, you know? So used to seeing that, and there's a physical feeling, I think, that sits in you when you then do the same thing. And it satisfies you in that physical way, because I remember feeling like either anger or like pressure, stress, anxiety, but it was a certain kind that I was used to. Because I'm like working to prove to this person that I am worthy.
Damn, that's crazy.
Right? Isn't that insane? I know you never had that problem. You are not about to prove yourself to know. If you want to be here, you're going to be here. If you don't want to be here, you're not.
Yes and no.
I've always admired that about you.
I would pump the brakes because I would say yes and no. Like, I have my moments for sure where there's times...
Pump the brakes. Sorry. I'm like, how old are you? All right, anyways.
No, I would say that there's times, or have been times, if I'm at a low point, then I very much need to, like, it's an effort to remind myself of that. Of, that I don't need to necessarily go above and beyond to prove myself. Just being myself is enough proof. And that's not to say proof of being good, proof of being bad. Like, just being who you are authentically just proves where you're at. So and everyone has their own opinions of you. Some people think you're the worst person in the world. Some people think you're the best person in the world. So I know both of my parents have been very like, well, if you don't like me, fuck you, I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, have your opinion. Like, that's fine. Like, you could think I'm an asshole. Like, more power to you. Good luck in life. Like, no, seriously, like, both of my parents are very much, like, yeah, okay, and they keep it pushing, but, no, for me, like, there definitely is times that I'm like, alright, are we done here? Because I really don't give a shit, but then there's other times, like I said,
that energy is amazing.
I mean, it's nice for sure.
Does it ever feel powerful in that moment? I'm just, like, so curious, like, when there is no feeling, you're just like, wow, this is so fucking dumb.
I would say so, but, like, it feels powerful, but at the same time, like, I think it's funny. Not funny because of, like, laughing at the person. Like, I think the situation itself is funny because you look back and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you know? Like, I try to find laughter and jokes in everything.
Yeah.
Just because that's how I cope with stuff. But, yeah, no, there's been some times where I'm just like, I really don't care what you think, especially too if I don't think that your case holds water. So I think there's some times where, depending on who the person is and what it is, I will care about what somebody says just because, like,
excuse me.
Like, for example, you know, if you told me, like, I hurt your feelings with something or, like, I was being an asshole, I would care because I'd be like, oh, man, this is someone that I love and now I'm hurting them. Also, but like I said, you know, depending on what it is, because if I genuinely do feel, like, I don't want to ever invalidate anyone's feelings, but if I feel that you're dragging it, then I would tell, no, I'm serious,
yes,
I would tell you, I'd be like, you know, I'm sorry that I made you feel this way, like, say your piece, let me know, and then my response to that would be, that's not how I perceived the situation, and personally, I think that this is just kind of getting dragged out. So, no, like, in the nicest way possible.
I know. It's just
in the nicest way possible.
The tone is still very funny because it's right there at the end.
Yeah.
It's like,
but,
boop.
yeah, but, like, you know, depending on what it is. Because if I think you're really missing it, then I'm like, am I being punked? But like I said, if I'm at a low point, then I definitely take things a bit more to heart, which I'm trying not to, and I would say that most recently, especially this job, just because, you know, everyone, like, and when you're a manager especially, you're either everyone's best friend, and then when you deny their time off request, they're like, you are Satan. So it's like, you know,
can't always get time off.
You can't make everyone happy, and you know, if you just follow the guidelines, stay. I'm serious. Follow the guidelines and, like, you know, follow the rules and, like, this is what it is. This is policy. It's nothing personal. Yes, it's policy. For some reason, that's been helping me realize, like, not everything. Not that I'm taking things personal, but sometimes I do worry about, like, I don't want to upset this person, but with this new role, just kind of learning it's not personal. It's a business. so sorry. Like we both have jobs to do, and someone who I definitely look up to in life has been a really strong voice in that. And not just like in the professional aspect of my life, but the personal aspect of my life as well, of like just kind of, even when I'm at a low point, being like, okay, but why does it matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to walk, let them walk. And
Word.
and like, yeah, so it's something that I like to tell myself, in addition to, you know, the strong figures that I have in my life, just reminding me of those lessons, I should say. Something I like to tell myself is just that if something's not genuine and it feels forced, I'm gonna feel temporary happiness. And the high of feeling temporary happiness, the crash from it is just exponentially worse. Like the dopamine drop is nutty. So it's like I've just kind of come to find that I don't want to force things anymore. And like someone once told me, never beg for anyone to stay in your life. And they were so right, because if someone wants to stay, they're going to stay. But also, too, sometimes if someone has to leave, that's just kind of life. And, sometimes they have to leave. Sometimes you have to leave. And, yeah, so I just kind of found that just letting life flow. And, like, now I get it. Like, when Carlton was explaining to me about Bruce Lee and, like, be like water and stuff like that, like, I get it now. Now I'm just like, I have my moments, don't get me wrong. I have my temper tantrums where I'm like,
Yeah, but that's water as well.
Yeah,
but that
true.
is water. Water isn't just calm.
That's fair. The rapids.
Yeah, sometimes it's whoosh, it's doing shit. It's moving.
But it feels healthier, and it feels like I'm not carrying so much anymore, because I definitely from time to time would be like, I deserve this. Why aren't you doing this? Try to set up a situation so then I can be fulfilled. And it's like I'm being fulfilled, but it's all of my own goddamn work. They ain't doing nothing. And it's not authentic. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's artificial. So, like, yeah, feeling that temporary pain for a bit more of a permanent bliss is better than feeling what
just dragging that out.
what you think is like temporary bliss for essentially like elongated pain,
Yeah. I mean, when was the last time you think you like sacrificed in like I guess in like a way that might have been more of a detriment than productive?
What do you mean?
I guess kind of like where am I going with this? There was something in my head that was like, we'll get back to it.
The last time I made a sacrifice,
like I guess like with people, like. Because I'm like trying to think. Because when I think of you, I don't see you as a person that really. What's the best way to say this? Because I don't want it to come off like in a weird way. But I don't see you as the kind of person that would like sacrifice to your detriment for somebody else. Like I feel like you have really good lines of just like, I can do that or I can't do that. Like I feel like there's a part of you that. And so I'm just curious as to like when the last time you think you like sacrificed where it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like when did you like sacrifice?
I would say most recently, I would say within this past year. But like I said, I noticed with myself, I'm very much like a sine curve. And if I'm at a low point, it's very, very hard for me to see my self-worth. Very, very difficult. And like now that's getting a lot better with all of the lessons that I'm learning and everything. But I would say most recently was like March, April, when like everything took place, like fresh. Just because I've come to the conclusion that, which also shout out to my mentor for helping me realize this without actually saying anything, but I when I don't spend a lot of time with my dad, or that other person at the time, I noticed that I found my self-worth and my strength in them especially. And like, he really reminded me of my dad in certain things. Certain ways he did not. But what I noticed is like when I spend a lot of time with my dad, you can't tell me shit, bro. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I will be the like most arrogant, I would say falsely arrogant person, because like externally I'm like, bro, I'm the fucking shit, bro. Like I know that is good, but then internally I'm like, oh my god, I really hope that was okay. But no, like like when I spend a lot of time with my dad, I feel like a somebody. And I notice when I don't spend a lot of time with my dad, I feel like a nobody.
He's a good listener.
And, like,
he knows how to hype you up.
Yeah,
and I think that's
my dad
what
and
you
I be
need
going back and forth.
sometimes.
Yeah. And like, so sometimes I would say that I resort back to feeling just not being myself, and making sacrifices for people that I don't need to be making sacrifices for. And I guess kind of going out of my way for my own self-detriment, and thinking that by breaking myself down, it's giving me purpose to somebody else or something else. So yeah, I would say most recently, like March or April, because I hit a really, really low point. And, well, the past couple of months, low points. But just really not seeing value in myself. And thankfully, like, my friends and close circle and loved ones and some, I guess you could say, strangers, but not really strangers, acquaintances, just kind of really being a healthy reminder of, that's not good to think about yourself in that way. So, yeah, so I would say most recently, like, earlier this year, and then maybe, like, 2 years ago, but it really does come with my highs and lows. But now I've noticed that even with my lows, I'm really choosing myself, and I'm being like, oh shit, wait, like, what the fuck? Like, no, I don't want to go to this thing. I'm not going.
Nice.
Or like,
I love that.
Like I want to do this, like I'm doing this, and just really changing that narrative. And I would say most recently, like I noticed it maybe starting like last week or even this week, that there were certain things that I was facing head on where I know in the past I would not. Because it was like, I don't like hurting people's feelings. I'm all about confrontation, but no, I really am.
Yes.
I really am. Like, I'm like, all right, so we're going to fucking talk about it or what? But I don't like hurting people's feelings.
Yeah.
So sometimes it feels like a constant battle of like, like I need to say this thing, but I don't want to hurt the person, and letting go of that narrative of like controlling how other people perceive things. And like Carlton and I have spoke about that of like,
because you can't, it'll drive you fucking crazy.
It doesn't matter what you do sometimes. Like that's not saying, be an asshole, but be a nice person, be kind, but
choose your words wisely. But there are some people that they're just not going to receive it.
Yeah, like if you have a hater and they see things, and you know exactly what I'm referring to, but and they see things, they're gonna perceive it a certain way because that's the filter they have on, you know. So I would say most recently I'm refinding myself, and I really do feel that, because when I feel the best, I should say, or like I know that I'm stepping into the best version of myself and tapping into that, is when I really don't give a shit and I can just laugh about anything and I feel intelligent. But then when I feel low, I really do question my intelligence. I question everything. Like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. And
we literally were just talking this morning about how we think our brains are fried because our, like, vocabulary has declined.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you still are doing pretty good. I've heard you throw out some words here and there. But, like...
But not what I used to be. That's why, like, the conversation that Carlton and I had...
we gotta start reading again. We gotta start reading more. That's really what it is. We have to start reading more. Oh my gosh, I didn't get to... So I'm reading a book, right?
Okay.
It's just something to read while I'm at work, and it's slow, so I'm not staring at my phone, right? And I've read it before. It's a real easy read. Who the hell was I having this conversation with? I think I was talking to my friend Eileen about it. Where it's a romance novel, but it's an action romance novel. So it's got like cool like fight scenes and shit like that. And like, I guess for me, when I'm reading a romance novel, like I'm sure there are intellectual ways of like saying things in a sexual context, but I really don't care about your degree when you like laying down some wood. You feel what I'm saying? It's not necessary for you to eloquently like put it like into words. You know what I mean? I feel like there's also terrible ways to fucking say it. So like let's also agree that there are some things that you like there's just certain words and certain phrases. It's just weird, right? But
shall we procreate?
Oh my god. Ugh. Gross. I'm like, oh, there it goes again.
There's Christina.
Yep, there it is again.
Like,
I was just talking
face.
to her yesterday. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, and so it don't really have a lot of big words, but it's got really cool fight scenes and sex scenes, and the storyline's like good.
Sometimes you don't, but you
I know.
don't
And
need it,
but Carlton was just like, you're gonna need to like up your like reading, and I'm like, you're 1,000% right, but this is like a fun like easy read for me when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Whereas like me and Carlton will scan through like self-help books and like psychology books and stuff like that. So it's not like I don't touch those books. I just don't touch them often because I feel like I have to be in a certain mindset to receive the information I'm reading. Like I don't want to read it and then I hate when like your brain isn't fully in it and so you keep reading the same fucking sentence over and over, or you finish the whole page and you have no idea what the fuck you just read. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts. I like being engulfed in it and trying to understand the concepts, and then like if there's a word I don't know, I go look in the dictionary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like I see if there's like synonyms and stuff. Like that I just haven't been in the mindset to do that recently. I was doing that a lot during the summer though. Was it this summer or last summer? I don't even remember anymore. But I was reading like two books. I was reading one about narcissism and one about CPTSD.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. But I haven't looked at the books in a while. So I should probably scan through. But the romance novel is really cute. It's really funny. It's about witches.
Nice.
I like stories with people with magical powers that like kick ass.
Sometimes you need that though to get you back into it, you know? If you haven't read in a while and then you're trying to get back into it, I really don't think you jumping into like fucking astrophysics is going to be something that's going to prompt you to read again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, Carlton and I started reading the Wheel of Time like series. There's like 37 books. I'm exaggerating. There's like 13. But
she said hyperbole?
They're thick and like and they've got this good vocabulary in there and stuff. We're on the second book and it's been a minute, but I definitely want to get back into it. He used to read like every night when Damien was born because we were up late like trying to feed him and stuff, and so it was just like, you want to read the book? I was like, okay, like, you know what I mean? It's a great story so far. I know I'm very, very late to the Wheel of Time series, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's really, really good. I feel like a lot of readers like will recommend that if they like fantasy and stuff. It's a good read. It's really good. It's very descriptive and stuff. And I mean, Carlton did have me read this one book with him, and we had to stop because I was getting really frustrated because him and I read different kinds of, because we had this discussion where if you tell me in a book like the setting, right, and you're like, okay, we're in a castle and there's like the tapestry is a certain color. You got the flags going and stuff. Somebody's sitting over there. Like, I get it. You don't have, but if we are reading a story and it's taking 3 fucking pages for you to just describe the scene, it very much takes me out of the story.
Yeah,
because I can picture the room quickly. Whereas Carlton was telling me his brain doesn't work that way. So he needs and enjoys, like, the color, the smell that they're describing, the, you know, facial expression of the person. You know, there's like a lot more like description that he needs in order to get him into that space, which I guess is why there's different forms of like writing. You know what I mean? But when I tell you, I felt so bad because I was definitely like, what the fuck, man? How long are we gonna talk about how dry this desert is? Like, I was getting I'm like, okay, we've been talking about this. I get it. He needs water. Like, okay, what's happening in this dry ass desert? Where are we going? Like, who's he gonna talk to? Like, that's what I want to say. I'm such a pain in the ass sometimes, and I truly don't understand how Carlton deals with me sometimes, because I feel like I could be annoying or like a fucking obnoxious, but he thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny because I'm just going off about randomness in a story, but
you know what that made me think
but
of?
Apparently it's a thing with people's brains.
I mean, yeah, because not everyone's wired the same way.
Yeah, you know, not everybody, like, pictures things in their head. Like, when they say things. Like, if you were describing something to someone, not everybody pictures pictures. Some people just picture words.
What?
Yes!
I'm going to try that.
Like, that your brain is a fucking typewriter? It's weird. It's crazy. Well, it's not weird. Let me stop. It's weird for me because that's not how my brain works. If you tell me, picture a pink elephant, ooh, there it is. Like, it's right there.
Pink elephant.
Right? Or that some people can't even picture that. That's very interesting. So what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, when you said that, it reminded me of that one scene from Madagascar where King Julian, like, they're watching Alex and Gloria and all them, like, they're resting or something, because they call them, like, the New York Giants, and they want to, like, you know, be like, yo, what the fuck? So they're like watching them rest, and they have to wait for the perfect opportunity to confront them and, you know, all that stuff. And they're all up in the trees, and King Julian is like, how long is this going to take? And like, they all like, everyone wakes up, and they like all shut their eyes in the trees and stuff like that. If I find it, I'll send it to you, because that's literally what it made me think of. It's like dead silent, nighttime, everyone's sleeping. Except for them, because they're plotting. And then you just hear him yell that. And
so that's me being impatient listening to this story?
Yes. Like,
I picture
it echoes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. That's definitely me. I don't mean to be. I really don't. But there are some things I get impatient about. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. And that's why I have a very patient husband who deals with me when I'm impatient. He teaches me patience. All right. Dumb.
Let me tell you a little story, kids.
Little story.
Alrighty.
Once upon a time not long ago when people wore pajamas and lived life slow. That's Slick Rick. Uncle Ricky.
Thank you.
You don't know the song?
I was always creeped out when they would say the Uncle Ricky thing.
Really?
I don't know. It just... I don't know. It just didn't... I didn't like it.
I just thought they didn't have kids. Like, there was just, you know what I mean? In the video, isn't it like grown-ups in
I don't know.
pajamas?
I've never seen the video, so I don't know.
All right, anyways, continue your story. Or continue.
Exquisite work.
Wonderful.
All right, so now it is time for our affirmation. So give me a drum roll with one hand. There's the desert.
Damn, you trying to say I'm ashy, bitch? She's trying to say I have to lotion my hands.
Just saying your hands are arid. That's all.
Whoa. Damn, like the deodorant?
Is a deodorant named Arid?
Isn't it Arid Extra Dry? That makes sense why they call it Arid.
Yeah. She's like... You really just like cracked the code.
Sometimes
you know
I do it.
That also reminded me of in Ghostbusters, where what's her face, the receptionist, she's She's talking to, I want to say it's Venkman, and I forgot her name, but Sigourney Weaver's character.
Okay.
And I don't remember what they're talking about, but she was just like saying something, and she was like, yeah, that scene just pops up in my head. So when you did that, I was like, yeah,
I'm going to have to look at all these things. It's been such a long time since I've watched that movie.
I love movies. Constant clips in my head.
It's fantastic.
But, fantastic, yes. So, now for our affirmation.
Affirmation.
It says, you're whack. Just kidding.
Oh, shit.
It says, you are the greatest project you will ever work on. And I think that is my favorite affirmation that I've found thus far, to be honest.
It's a good one.
Because I like projects. I like tinkering with things. I like challenges. So that I thought was a really cool way to motivate people. I don't know. To me, that feels motivating. Because like I said, I like projects and I like challenges. So for me, I was like, huh. Yeah, so I don't know. For me, that resonated. So
oh, yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if it resonates for you guys. I hope that it does, but I don't really care because it resonated with me. I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding. No, but I really do hope that you guys find something that kind of jumpstarts your self-growth and self-love too. 'Cause
absolutely.
I guess self-love comes with self-growth. But let me tell you something. When you start loving yourself, growth is exponential, and you kind of look back and you're like, why the fuck did I think that? Or why did I put up with this?
Sometimes I have you ever like in the shower and you have like flashbacks? I'd be cringing in there sometimes. I'd be like, oh my God, bitch. Sometimes like sometimes I'm audibly like saying, oh my God. Like
I feel that.
Because I'm thinking about this thing and I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? And then I'm like, okay, Melanie, we're not there anymore. We're taking a shower. Like, relax.
Yeah.
Because it almost sometimes puts you in that state of like being there. But
like
it's so annoying.
Back and then you're in a bad mood and But yeah, I really hope that this affirmation resonates with you, or maybe as you're walking down the street or driving your car, you see something that does help you just realize that you're the best.
The best.
And if it doesn't work for you, please recommend this episode to multiple people so then we can get more views and make money because I'm broke. So
you say that, but you're not.
I don't know. According to a certain person in my life, I am poor and broke. So,
dang. All right.
Yeah. Alternates.
Poor and broke are the same thing.
No, not.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even going to fight you on it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell the people.
All right. You can find us at your local McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram. We have an email. You can also find us on streaming platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music. You can also find us on visual platforms such as YouTube. So please just do us a very big favor and leave us a rating, leave us some comments, email us, whatever it may be, even if it's something funny. I like humor, so please, if it's roasting me, please, I'm all for it.
She is.
But
really be prepared because she gonna come right back for you. So don't think that you're gonna dish it and not gonna be able to take it, because she's gonna definitely throw something right back at you. So be prepared.
Yeah, but now it's fun. And please just do us a very big favor and high five the subscribe button. And then after you do that, make sure to curb stomp the like button.
Ooh, curb stomp. That's a new one.
I know. I haven't used that in this context.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
so make sure you do that. So then you can
get us to more recommended podcasts. We are Talk Your Shift across all those platforms. So come on by, say some things, like some things, watch some things, and hopefully you'll learn something. I know that we definitely are, like when we have these kind of conversations.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Sometimes when I go back and I watch our old episodes, I'm like,
dropping gems.
Bro was spitting.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Or sometimes, like, I'll look back and I'll see something, and I'm like, it's interesting how your perspective changes over time. So sometimes, like, I'll see something and I'm like, I don't know, I don't necessarily agree with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's fair. All right, y'all. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.